Hi, this is Joe again with another review. So in this video, I'm going to be discussing the 2018 film 50 Shades Freed, starring, of course, Dakota Johnson and the other guy. You never remember Dakota Johnson in these films. Of course, this is the third and final film in the 50 Shades series. Now, previously, we reviewed the second film, which was 50 Shades Stalker. This one picks up almost right where that one left off. As a matter of fact, the second film just came out just a year ago in 2017, and now in 2018 they have the third and final one. And of course, this one starts off at the very beginning with Anastasia and Christian Grey getting married. And of course, it's almost the majority of this film, at least a good chunk of it, is like almost, you can see it's the same thing for all these movies. It's like softcore porn. And for amazing me, it's surprising that these movies didn't get an NC-17 or an X rating, because of all the sex scenes, it's almost like torture porn almost throughout the course of these three films. But at least this one, you have the consenting adults who just got married. So, but they still have the over the top sex torture stuff in this film. Meanwhile, all that stuff is going on. Christian Grey and Anastasia are being stalked by this guy, and they figure out almost right away. They figured out that the guy who was stalking them was the guy who was fired in the previous film. For those of you who don't know, who didn't see 50 Shades Stalker, there was one subplot where Anastasia's boss was coming on her, and he knew that her boyfriend just bought the company Christian Grey, and he has an animosity towards Christian Grey, which we explained in the third film, which we're going to get into. Which we're going to get into in a minute. But so because he came on to her, Anastasia, of course, complained about it, and he got fired for it. So apparently, because he got fired, he decides to get even with Christian Grey for firing him, for coming on to his then girlfriend, now wife. So he was stalking the ball. Now he's stalking the both of them, and they had one pretty good chase scene, in the film. But for the most part, it was crazy. And then there's one subplot where Anastasia's former boss kidnaps, I think, Christian Grey's sister or sister-in-law, kidnaps her. He said, "Oh, you have to give me like $5 million," and says to Anastasia, "Give me $5 million, I give you back the girl." And he finds out about it, and then of course he gets, or the guy, he gets arrested, and and he goes to jail, and then gets out, gets on bail, and then of course now he decides to do all this stuff. Anastasia shoots him, self-defense, and then goes back to jail, and permanently. And that is resolved for, even though it takes a long time in the film to recover, at least it feels that way. It eventually gets resolved, and I found out why the guy acted like that, because the theory was that he was getting revenge for getting fired, which kind of makes sense, and it's almost like a Lifetime movie type of subplot. But the real reason is that he had this guy, or this guy's name was Hyde, had a connection to Christian Grey, and that was they were both in the foster care system when they were kids. And he was mad over the fact that Christian got adopted, but by the Grey family, got adopted, and he had all the breaks, a multi-billionaire. Before the age of 30, he's a multi-billionaire, and he has all the breaks, and Hyde didn't. That's basically what the stink was. And that's why he took it out on him, had him on his girlfriend, on Anastasia and then was stalking him after he got fired. So that was really crazy bullshit. And that's what E.L. James came up with. And in the third film, it's one thing to come up, getting married is one thing, but the stalking crap. I mean, it was just so lame. Especially when they came over the little twist. When they were in the foster care system together, and Chrissy got all the breaks and he didn't. So he had more animosity towards the guy. And also, that goes, and then you have another half hour of this movie, and say, okay, what are you going to do for the next half hour? Well, one of the other subplots was that Anastasia got pregnant, and almost when the quickie honeymoon, she says, "What do you feel about us having kids?" I said, "Well, I don't mind having kids, but I'm not ready." And Christian says to Anastasia, "Look, I'm not ready to have kids yet." And he says, "Okay, I said I want us, be together for a while, and see if we like, being married and married life and stuff, and then if we want to have kids, then we can have kids." And Anastasia says, "I ain't going along with that." And but Anastasia found out she was pregnant anyway, and Christian was upset over it. And there's a scene that was not in the film, but he goes back but Christian goes back and talks to Kim Basinger character, who was introduced in the second film, the one who told him how to fuck, excuse my language, but told him how to have sex, and just have straight sex, all this torture porn stuff. And goes back, and Anastasia found out about it, and then she got pissed because in the previous film, 50 Shades Stalker, he pretty much cut her off and didn't want to see her again. Well, in this film, he sees it, but he didn't actually have that scene in this film. Might have been filmed, but it wasn't in the final cut. But you had that stuff going on, and Anastasia was considering having the abortion. Then you had the whole stalking thing again with Anastasia's former boss. Back again, and then after all the kidnapping stuff was going on, then Kristen comes around and says, "Okay, I don't mind having kids." And then of course at the end, and then when the whole stalking thing was settled, then you had Anastasia with one kid, with a son, and then it looks like at the end of the film she was pregnant with a second kid, and that's pretty much how the movie ends. And it was really, really, and the other thing was that bad of a story. But all these three movies, the three films, even though I didn't really fully see 50 Shades of Grey fully, because it was so boring, I couldn't sit through it. And that's why all these three films were like torture porn almost. And I noticed, I mean, if you see after one sex scene, after two sex scenes, you see Dakota Fanning naked, Dakota Johnson naked. First time you see her naked, the second time you see her naked, the third time, it's like, okay, we get it. It's enough of it. I mean, how many of these scenes can you possibly have throughout the course of the movie? I mean, you can count maybe 10 to 15 scenes of these sex scenes throughout the course of the three films. And it's just, you have to roll your eyes at them again and again. It's like watching porn. Every 5 minutes you have another sex scene. But these movies did absolutely nothing for me. But, like I said, I feel the best movie in the series was 50 Shades Stalker. Because it goes into more of Christian Grey's background. And this one wasn't so bad because it picks up where the other one left off. So I didn't think it was that bad. But I felt it could have been better. It's also the shortest film of the three in terms of time. It's running like an hour 45 minutes. So it's the shortest one out of the three films. But, like I said earlier, like you just said, the second one is the best one of the three. So that's my review of 50 Shades Freed. Please click on the video, please rate it, please subscribe to my channel, please forward this video onto your Facebook pages. You can check out all my reviews and only on my YouTube channel at rallyc.com, that's WDY. That's C.com, that's the homepage of Rally Reviewer, Chris Lee Moore, and please check out all of his videos on his website. Thanks for watching, catch you next time.